for a step-by-step guide on applying for and renewing your press card. We've made it easy for you. You can also get assistance at our head office in Upper Hill, Nairobi, or our regional offices in Mombasa, Meru, Nakuru, and Kisumu. You can also reach out to us via email accreditation@mediacouncil.or.ke or call our hotline number 0110-131-447. All accredited journalists are advised to carry their press cards whenever on duty and to produce them whenever required. Stay accredited with the Media Council of Kenya and elevate your media journey today. Get ready for the captivating return of the FKF Premier League, exclusively on KBC. Brace yourself for the thrill of football as 18 teams battle it out for glory. Every week, KBC brings you not one, but two heart-pounding matches, delivering the best football action right to your living room. The stakes are higher than ever. The league champion takes home a handsome prize of 5 million shillings and also earns the honor of representing Kenya in the prestigious CAF Champions League. Feel the adrenaline, experience the suspense, and join the roar of the crowd as we celebrate the return of Kenya's football legacy. The FKF Premier League, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 and KBC radio stations. Save the date, mark your calendars, and get ready for the ultimate football spectacle. Coming to you live only on KBC. KBC, your true sports partner.
Good evening, welcome to Prime Edition. I am Cynthia Nyamai. Now, tonight, the government has given a stern warning asking the nation to practice high hygiene practices because of several outbreaks around the country. I do have the details for you. And also, the president has been touring the nation. He's in Western Kenya. And I will be telling you some of the headings that we have in Western Kenya, and also some of the announcements that he made today. And also in sports, we have for you Karen Kibet and much more. But first, let's have the highlights. The elusive sweetness. President Ruto vows to fix the country's sugar subsector during his tour of Western Kenya. The Chancellor's prescription, new Chancellor to mobilize partnerships to cure University of Nairobi's financial problems. And an activist files a petition seeking the removal of CJ Martha Koome from office. Welcome back. Remember, we would love to hear from you. You can send in your comments on our social media pages. That is KBC Channel 1 on Twitter, Facebook, and also on Instagram. And you could send me a message. My username is Cynthia Nyamai on all the social media pages. Now, Michael Kojo Otieno, who claims to be a human rights activist, has filed a petition seeking the removal of Chief Justice Martha Koome. Otieno, who filed the petition at the Judicial Service Commission is accusing Kome of alleged discrimination in the appointment of the members of Tax Appeal Tribunal.
In the petition, Otieno cited 7 grounds which he wants the Commission to consider in the removal of Chief Justice Martha Koome.
On recruitment of members at the Tax Appeal Tribunal. Whereas the powers which had been conferred upon the Chief Justice, she relied on an old law instead of a new law, the Tax Appeal Tribunal Amendment Act of 2022.
He says the law requires the CJ to appoint 15 and not more than 20 members to the tribunal, and that she violated procedure by exceeding the seat number.
The rule of law is there, impartiality is there, we also have got democracy is there, and human rights. Those persons who had applied for those given positions did not get the opportunity to be appointed.
The petition argues that having failed to follow the set procedure, the Chief Justice is unfit to hold office.
As such, we crave that we first put in our
Elsewhere, the Director of Public Prosecution, Renson Ingonga, has filed extradition proceedings against a Kenyan who is wanted in the USA for murder of Margaret Mbeto.
As such, Your Honor, it's our belief that the said application of the said file should collapse. The respondent has already been presented before you. In the same breath, they are also seeking directions on how to proceed with this application.
Chief Magistrate Lucas Onyina was told by the prosecutor Vincent Monda that the office of the ODPP has received a request from the US government in a letter signed by the Secretary of State to have Kevin Kinyanjui deported to the US.
The counsel for the respondent is also given time to file and serve replying affidavit in regard to the notice of motion dated 31st of January 2024 and filed on the same date. They said replying affidavit be filed and served within the next 3 days. Directions on the manner of disposal of the notice of motion shall be given on Monday, 5th of February 2024.
Kinyanjui is remanded at Muthaiga Police Station. All eyes are now set on the Judicial Service Commission to see if it will pin or exonerate the President of the highest court in the land on the 7 grounds that has been presented by the petitioner. Ruth Wamboi reporting from Milimani Law Courts.
The National Assembly Health Committee is calling for establishment of an independent body that will be licensing and regulating private hospitals across the country. Patrick Munene, the Vice Chair of the committee, says the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council, which registers and regulates medical practice by doctors, cannot effectively execute its mandate due to conflict of interest. He was speaking at the Chest and Skin Hospital, Ishira, in Mbere, North Embu County. The committee is visiting various hospitals across the country on a fact-finding mission over the National Health Insurance Fund fraudulent claims scandals. The hospital's proprietor, Dr. Dan Bogo, in his submission to the committee, cited business rivalry as the reason the facility has been implicated in the saga.
Of medicine as a profession and the registration and the supervision of facilities, because when they are done by the same group, then there is a conflict of interest. You can't be Alif Ali who left us his own team. If you left the same team you coach, then there's a problem. You favor your team.
The government continues to caution the public to practice high levels of hygiene in the wake of the outbreak of polio, Rift Valley fever and red eye disease in some parts of the country. Government spokesman Dr. Isaac Maura says the government has taken precautions by conducting immunization, isolation of infected persons and distribution of insecticide-treated mosquito nets, urging the public to seek medical services in case of an infection.
The polio threats have been attributed to importation from a neighboring country and suboptimal routine immunization, putting children at the risk of the disease. As of 27th January 2024, 14 cases of polio have been sequenced, that is, they have been identified, and furthermore, 7 polio isolations were identified, with 6 from environmental surveillance sites, especially in Garissa, and 1 from a site in Eastleigh, Nairobi County. Secondly, on the issue of Rift Valley fever outbreak, the outbreak is attributed to the recent El Nino rains, which led to a surge in mosquito population, thus an increased transmission of vector-borne diseases. All counties, therefore, are now put on very high alert for potential spread of this disease.
University of Nairobi's new Chancellor, Professor Patrick Vetradin, says the solution to the institution's financial problems is in a partnership. The professor says that the termed financial resources as a key element is propelling institutions of higher learning to internationally acclaimed standards, saying that he will bring on board his Global North Network as well as the institution's alumni to spur the needed transformation. The Chancellor, who is the 6th to head University of Nairobi, welcomed skeptics about his appointment, saying it is a reflection of how people deeply care about the institution.
The University of Nairobi Chancellor, Professor Patrick Verheugen, on a Thursday had an opportunity of engaging the students in a town hall meeting. Professor Verheugen appreciated the support he received from the university's council, senate and the students, despite skepticism surrounding his appointment.
And to those, I would want to say, I understand you. I understand your skepticism, because there are great Kenyans who could be chancellor of this great university. But in the virtue of the culture of universities, of academia, we all look for different perspectives.
The new Chancellor also vowed to employ new approaches to improve the financial capabilities of the institutions, which has largely depended on government support.
The reputation of the University of Nairobi is unprecedented. In the Global North, I have received an overwhelming amount of offers for partnership. It's time now for the University of Nairobi to turn the table and put very clear forward the types of partnerships which the university is seeking.
Professor Verheugen hailed the technological innovations at the university's faculties, even as he hinted on commercializing the project.
For that, we need platforms, we need systems. As I said before, there are 260,000 alumni of this great institution, including, but not limited to, the president of this great nation. The time is there now to tap into that resource base.
Professor Patrick Verheugen, who succeeded Dr. Vijay Ratanshi, is the 6th Chancellor at the University of Nairobi and the first from overseas to hold the position.
Kenya Defence Force will now have a separate pass to undertake peace missions away from Treasury funding. The Peace Support Operation Fund, launched Thursday by Defence Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale, will now be receiving money directly for mission support instead of being channeled through Treasury.
This heralds a new autonomy for funding for military troops in peace support operations, separate from Treasury budget allocations. While launching the Peace Support Operations Fund, Defence Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale noted that this is a decisive response to addressing key challenges, including constrained resources.
We are ensuring that our defence forces can rapidly deploy with the right equipment and competency in a changing security environment.
The fund is now fully operational, thanks to the support we have received from the National Treasury. The fund will be revolving, and thus will eventually reduce the need for continued support from the National Treasury.
The launch of the fund coincided with the first flag-off of logistic operations to the Democratic Republic of Congo for MONUSCO.
Every mission our troops have undertaken, whether under regional mechanism or within the framework of the United Nations, recoups to us in the form of stronger allies, safer borders, and a flourishing economy.
At the core of the fund's utility is the acquisition and maintenance of modern equipment and systems to enhance the ability of the peacekeepers to execute their mandate. Accordingly, our forces will have access to advanced operational gear, bridging the gap between capability and action.
The Defense Cabinet Secretary further called for proper management of the fund.
I call upon the fund administrator and the fund secretariat to ensure prudent management of the resources therein to guarantee, in order to guarantee success in the mandate implementation. This fund represents more than just a financial allocation. It embodies our pledge to the international community and our citizens that Kenya will remain a beacon of peace and stability.
Sentiments echoed by the Chief of Defence Forces, General Francis Ogola, and the PS Defence, Patrick Mariro.
Moving forward, I've instructed that the units already pledged for peacekeeping capability readiness system be elevated to peace deployable level. Moving forward, we shall endeavor to put plans in motion to grow this fund, to ensure sustainability and adapt to the evolving landscape of peacekeeping operations. We foresee a future where our financial capacity matches our commitments, where our troops are empowered, our role in international peace is clearly visible.
The fund was approved by the Cabinet chaired by President Dr. William Ruto on the 8th of October 2023 after the National Assembly ratified the Public Finance Management National Peace Support Operations Fund regulations. Serafina Robi for Prime Edition.
Let's now go to the counties where students at St. John Girls Secondary School in Kaloleni, Kilifi County were left counting losses after fire broke out in their dormitories on Wednesday evening. Elsewhere, Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Dr. Alfred Mutua has issued a stern warning against poaching. Details of this and more in our county news roundup.
Eyewitnesses say the fire began in the dormitory where the students were attending their evening lessons. Kaloleni member of National Assembly Paul Katana announced the school's decision to release the students to ease their panic.
Nimeweza kuwasilishana na mkurugenzi wa bodi ya kitaifa ya CDF ili niruhusiwe nitafute milioni 1 za dharura tuweze kusaidia shule wanunue magodoro, wanunue vitanda, tukingojea yule mhandisi wa Public Works aje akague jengo hili atueleze kama linaweza kurekebishwa na kama haliwezi atuambie ni nini ili tuweze kutafuta pesa tujenge bweni la kisasa.
In Nairobi County, Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Dr. Alfred Mutua has warned against illegal wildlife activities. While receiving 2 on-patrol vehicles donated by the German government, Dr. Mutua said that those found culpable will face the full wrath of the law. This follows a recent arrest of 2 suspects in Gamba area, Tana River County, who were found with rhino horns.
Wakati wa kucheza na wanyama ulipita. Umepita kabisa. Unajua risasi wakati mwingine haijui wewe ni nani. Na ukienda pale unamuua mnyama wetu, na wewe pia utajipata kwa shida. Kuna wengine pia wanauawa na wanyama. Wako kule huko wanapambana na wanyama, wanauawa pia huko katika ile tamaa. Wacha wanyama wakae na usalama na sisi tukae na usalama.
For Prime Edition, I'm Alvin Kaunda.
Well, it's time for our first break, but when we come back, I'll have the business stories for you.
the Kenya National Youth Service will conduct a nationwide recruitment drive for male and female NYS volunteers from Monday the 5th of February through to Friday the 9th of February 2024. Persons wishing to be enlisted must meet the following conditions. Be a Kenyan citizen and resident of the respective sub-county of recruitment, be between the ages of 18 and 24, have a mean grade of D plane and above in KCSE, produce original and photocopies of their national ID and academic certificates, must have a certificate of good conduct, be ready to undergo a medical checkup during and after recruitment, be prepared to undergo rigorous physical training, and be prepared to give voluntary service to the nation in any part of Kenya. Successful candidates will report for the NYS paramilitary course at the respective NYS college on the dates and time of their calling letters. For further information, visit the NYS website, NYS Huduma kwa Taifa.
Haya, hisi ya kungoja kwenye star 570 hash kuna ploti na ni up to 1.1 million Kenyan shillings with a genuine title deed na inakungoja star 570 hash bukana zake.
Welcome to Sensei Institute. Mahali skills zangu ni pesa mkononi. At Sensei College, practical skills is the definition. Accredited by the government and founded on a Christian background, Sensei College offers all-rounded programs that are tailor-made to enhance your skills and give you the future you desire. We offer courses such as interior design, fashion and design, hairdressing and beauty, hospitality courses, trailer driving and defensive driving, building construction technology, CCTV, solar and electrical installation, photography and video production, electronic courses, vehicle electronics and mechanic courses, agricultural mechanics, ICT, and many more. To enroll in any of our campuses in Nairobi and Nakuru, all you need is your national ID card. Mapema ndo best. Take advantage of our monthly intake. Come to kusort na skills. Sensei College, my skills, my future.
Across Africa, a new era has begun. Shifting our focus to a new horizon, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Brighter tomorrow, built by our dreams and our energy. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future. A Pan-African future. Together. EcoBank. A better way, a better Africa.
Welcome back. It's now time for business. Kenya and South Africa have sealed a number of deals that will deepen trade under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Trade Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano, who is in South Africa, was among government officials from the two nations who witnessed the shipment of the first cargo consignment destined for Kenya under the Guided Trade Initiative.
Trade between Kenya and South Africa spans various sectors, from tea, coffee, fruits and vegetables from Kenya, while South Africa exports iron and steel, mineral fuels, machinery and agricultural products, among others. Both nations have now committed to facilitate the smooth entry of products from both countries and address non-tariff barriers to enhance trade. This will be done under the African Continental Free Trade Area, which both countries have ratified. The African Continental Free Trade Area has a collective population of 1.3 billion people and a combined GDP exceeding $3.5 trillion. Kenya will, in coming weeks, receive the first cargo consignment from South Africa under the Guided Trade Initiative, whose shipment was witnessed by Trade Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano and South Africa President Cyril Ramaphosa. The Trade Cabinet Secretary commended the initiative, saying it ushers in a new era of trade under the preferential tariffs. The launch coincided with the African Continental Free Trade Area Council of Ministers meeting in Durban. Kenya embraced the first Continental Free Trade Area Agreement in 2022, which saw the first shipment of batteries and tea to Ghana. Weri Mujenga for Prime Edition.
2 aflatoxin decontamination plants have been commissioned in Kenya, offering grain farmers a chance to salvage contaminated grains. The 2 facilities at the National Cereals and Produce Board depots in Bungoma and Nairobi have capacity to eliminate up to 98% of aflatoxins in various food commodities, including grain, pulses, and nuts.
Poor grain storage practices and post-harvest handling are some of the primary causes of exposure to infestation by insects and fungi, which ultimately results in aflatoxins, a health risk if consumed. However, leveraging advanced technology can reduce aflatoxin contamination levels and minimize losses to farmers.
The government has put up a number of programs. One of the programs is to buy the 100 trials so that all the cereals which are produced and they need to be tried, the farmers and the county government get the necessary trials so that they can try this particular produce ready for the market or ready for consumption.
We know that these dryers will go handy to help our farmers in so many other ways.
At the handover ceremony in Bungoma County, Agriculture Principal Secretary Kiprono Rono said the state-of-the-art machines are designed to efficiently remove contaminants while preserving the nutritional value and integrity of the food. The aflatoxin decontamination plants are expected to help boost trade with East Africa.
Government as Ministry of Agriculture will put up a very aggressive plan to work on our seed systems to make sure that we have the right variety, in terms of quality. They will give us the volume in terms of production for the specific crop.
About 600,000 metric tons of maize is traded annually between Uganda and Kenya, and about 400,000 metric tons moved between Tanzania and Kenya. Western Kenya is a strategic grain basket and plays a key role in regional grain trade. Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
Thank you, Trevor, for that story. Now, the government has been urged to consider reviewing downwards some of the levies on electricity and fuel to help reduce the cost of production and transportation. Public Service Governance CEO Esther Waringa says this will positively impact the cost of living as well as make Kenyan goods more competitive in the global market.
And this is something that we can be able to address. One, we are able to reduce the 9 levies on petroleum and petroleum products, because the 9 levies constitute of about 79.9% of what the government gets, while Wanjiko continues languishing in the high cost of energy. So the 9 levies can be reduced to 4. So that from the 79 point that the government is getting, we reduce it to 55.
We are suggesting to the government that we should have a very nice system of inviting the investors so that we will create more employment for the youth, education, degrees, and so on.
A collaboration between Kenyan and American institutions of higher learning has been rolled out, targeting to sharpen innovative and entrepreneurial skills in students in efforts to prepare them for the dynamic job market. This is under the Kenya-USA Global Launchpad initiative that is designed to provide an immersive and also experience learning for students by incorporating both physical and online training to either create jobs or meet the needs of the job market.
There have been concerns that most students in institutions of higher learning focus on acquiring skills to be employed. This has seen the rate of unemployment growing at a higher level than the available opportunities being created to absorb those entering the job market. This has ignited a debate about the need to have institutions of higher learning focus on entrepreneurship to scale and prepare students to be job creators. The push has received support from the Kenya-USA Global Launchpad initiative, which is a collaborative effort between Kenyan universities, Syracuse University and the U.S. Embassy in Kenya, with the JKUAT Department of Physics, JKUAT, serving as the host institution to sharpen the skills of students in public universities.
The idea of this program is that Jomo Kenyatta University and Syracuse can coordinate, communicate together. Young people from Kenya and from the United States can communicate together through the program, develop new ideas, support each other, and seek out those networks that make their solutions into the businesses of the future.
Especially in the area of entrepreneurship. We believe that this initiative will help our students to grow and nurture an entrepreneurial mind, so that when they graduate from the university, they just don't go out looking for jobs, and they have to really be able to create jobs and even employ other people.
Among those targeted are 130 students from the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology will benefit from specialized technology, innovation, and entrepreneurial training.
Added from my Kugli that was so much important is we shouldn't dwell on the solution to a problem. Much of the time that you're supposed to take is for looking into the problem, and then that 1% of the time that you're going to get is more majorly the solution.
Through the forum, Kuguri Forum, through that initiative, we learned about collaboration, entrepreneurship, thinking, critical thinking, and more of it is how do you connect with people? How do you find people with the common mindset to come up with something?
The training will be done through workshops, mentorship sessions, and practical projects designed to nurture creativity, problem solving, and critical thinking. The Kenya-USA Global Launchpad initiative will support Kenyan and US students form joint teams and foster collaborations that will lead to the generation of multinational ventures.
What I'm trying to pass through to STEM students is that they can be agents of production for the country. This is one thing that I have had a firm belief on. I believe that young people, as long as you have gone to the university, your role is to create opportunities. Your role is to create jobs.
The culmination of the program will see the presentation of the ideas generated during an innovation conference scheduled later this year. Organizers say the winning pitch will be supported to commercialize it.
Through that, we've been able to come up now with the Innovate Connect, where it's a platform for creatives to connect and showcase their work.
And I've been able to set up my first company after this program, that is Sunpass Energy. So what we're doing, basically, we are providing solar PV services.
And what stood up for me mostly was the networking, and more specifically in my startup, Maikura.
Those behind the program believe it could be used as a benchmark for future collaborations on how students in different countries can work together in tackling challenges that the society faces. Frederick Mokifu Prime Edition.
Low adoption of artificial intelligence in offering healthcare services has been blamed on resistance by patients, low technical skills among service providers, and inadequate infrastructure. Penda Health CEO Stephanie Kozella says medical professions could be trained and equipped on how to take on a human-centric AI approach where people's well-being remains a priority.
Personalized treatment recommendations,
to AI predictive analytics, embracing artificial intelligence could have significant impact on healthcare provision. However, the adoption of artificial intelligence has remained low due to challenges that have caused a demand-supply imbalance. In order to bridge this gap, players within the healthcare industry say artificial intelligence can be harnessed to improve service provision, boost existing jobs, while also creating new ones.
We don't only talk about generative AI, but we also talk about some of the opportunities that exist that maybe we've already integrated into practice, so as to bring all of us together to not be fearful in our approach to this new technology.
Additionally, they say plans are underway to fast-track implementation of AI policies that will aid in transforming the country's technology ecosystem.
There are quite a number of initiatives that are put in place, and one is the preparation of enabling environment in terms of policy, legal, and regulatory framework.
The only way that we can really get patients the best care is through a combination of dedicated human beings who care about patients and systems, including technology, that help us do the right thing and to bring the latest research to bear on patient care.
They called on the government to increase incentives for AI scaling and partnerships, ensure AI transparency and accuracy standards.
Beyond even that, the elements around where is the closest facility. If you're in an emergency as a patient and you have traveled away out of town, it's December, where's the nearest facility I can access care? AI can help support even just in localizing and finding you, helping you know where to access healthcare.
Stakeholders within the health sector are encouraging medical professionals and clinicians to harness the use of artificial technology and intelligence as a tool that can be used to enhance service delivery and ensure last-mile connectivity. Reporting for Prime Edition, my name is Ndota Mokami.
The first public embryo facility is set to start operations this April in efforts by the government to boost milk production from the current 5 billion litres annually to 12 billion litres. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mithika Linturi says the embryo facility, which is domiciled at Kenya Animal Genetic Resource Centre in Nairobi, will help in production of high-quality breeds.
I'm going to give you 60 semen at a price of lower than 3,000 shillings. Ili mkulima upatie mbegu ikiwekwa inatoa kitu. Because the why is here is to be able to improve our breeds within the next 2-3 years. Ili tuwe na ng'ombe ambazo zinatupatia maziwa mzuri.
Nilikuwa ufao na tukakubaliana Nyandarua tutapewa 20,000 liter liquid nitrogen. Tutaweka hapa hata mahali ya kuweka nimetayarisha. Usukumie sisi ikuje, ndio unaona niko nataka kufanya AI program kwa wakulima wote wa Nyandarua.
Institutions and households in Kenya are increasingly tapping renewable energy sources such as solar system to power some of their energy needs as the sustainability agenda gains popularity amid the adverse effects to climate change. This is among steps Kenya is taking in its target to reduce carbon emission by 32% by the year 2030, as Trevor Ngeno reports.
As environmental concerns continue to gain prominence across the globe, the adoption of solar power by institutions and households in Kenya is growing. While households are embracing solar systems for water heating and lighting, institutions are, on the other hand, embracing solar energy to power low-energy appliances and lighting. The target is to reduce power bills paid to Kenya Power, as well as sustainably and responsibly manage the operations and practices in a manner that reduces carbon emissions.
Recognising an opportunity to reduce costs within the business, hopefully to pass that on to the consumer, to make sure that we're safe in our operations going forward.
He says even though the initial investment in a solar system may seem substantial, the long-term benefit far outweighs the upfront expenses.
We're looking at a sort of the 30 plus million shilling saving per annum going forward. And I think there's opportunities to be more efficient here as well. We've got certain aspects, and certainly in this facility, which we can still add more solar panel coverage to.
Most of our solutions, grid-tie solutions, are able to give you a payback period of between 3 and 4 years. So 3 and 4 years, if you're willing to invest in anything, and even think about most of the assets that most people buy, anything that gives you a payback period of less than 10 years is a worthwhile investment.
Livestock Principal Secretary, who officiated the handover of Kenchik's solar power project by Chloride Exide, said the government is keen on investments that will help reduce carbon footprint to power Kenya's drive towards a greener future.
It's all about awareness. We have programs. You heard this was a government-to-government program with the Japanese embassy, so we also have programs with several partners that will be able to give solar products as inputs to our farmers.
The 1.32 megawatt solar plant is expected to reduce electricity supply interruption, especially at its hatchery, which requires a steady supply. Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
The Ministry of Agriculture has donated 5,000 packets of Pyrethrum seeds to farmers in East Kericho County in the renewed efforts to revive the cash crop. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mithika Linturi says Kenya is keen to enhance shipment of Pyrethrum, which is used to be among one of the top foreign exchange earners.
Pyrethrum was introduced in Kenya in 1928, and by 1932, commercial production of Pyrethrum flowers began. By 1998, Kenya used to produce between 10,000 to 15,000 metric tons annually, grown on 100,000 acres. This constituted about 70% of the world's supply. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary says Kenya is keen to revive Pyrethrum production, which has declined in recent years, and make it viable.
The government is deliberate in the promotion of growth of Pyrethrum, because Pyrethrum is the best and most recognized organic pesticide to store our food.
Addressing Pyrethrum farmers at Kaptich in Kericho County, Linturi said a combination of support initiatives have been rolled out to boost production, such as donation of certified Pyrethrum seeds.
Support kuza pareto. Mbegu tuko nazo, kampuni 4 zinafanya kazi katika taifa hii, and we appreciate the involvement of the private sector in supporting our farmers in the various value chains that we are promoting, because that's the only way to support and grow our country.
Ian Muse for Prime Edition.
To definitely be good to see Pyrethrum a top foreign earner once again. Now, oil and gas giant Shell says its profit dipped from a record of $39.9 billion in 2022 to $28.2 billion in 2023 in what the firm blames on low energy prices. Energy firms made record earnings when oil and gas prices soared in aftermath of Russia's invasion of Ukraine amid fears of supply problems. Here are the details of this and other stories making headlines across the borders.
Shell said its profit figure for last year was a result of lower oil and gas prices, as well as lower volumes being traded and lower margins for refining. In 2023, Shell saw higher liquefied natural gas trading. Many European countries turned to liquefied natural gas as an alternative source of energy after Russia cut its supplies of natural gas to the continent. As a result, Shell posted profits of $7.3 billion in the final 3 months of 2023, but was down from a record $9.8 billion in the same period the year before. Elsewhere, some Chinese automakers have had to delay deliveries of flagship models due to production issues with a computing unit made by tech giant Huawei. Chang'an Auto and Chery Auto, both of which have partnered with Huawei in developing their premium electric vehicle brands, have lodged complaints and are in talks to resolve the issue. The problem comes at a time when Huawei is seeking to secure more investors for its 4-year-old intelligent automotive solution business unit that it plans to spin off. Chang'an Auto has said it plans to own up to 40% of the new company. Finally, Deutsche Bank smashed fourth quarter earnings expectations, reporting net profit of 1.3 billion euros and announcing a further 1.6 billion euros in shareholder returns for 2024. The quarterly net profit figure marked an almost 30% fall from the same quarter a year ago, but was significantly higher than the 785.61 million euros expected. The German lender also announced plans to hike share buybacks and dividends by 50%, returning a total of 1.6 billion euros to shareholders. As part of a 2.5 billion euro operational efficiency program, Deutsche Bank said it expects to cut 3,500 jobs, mainly in non-client-facing areas.
Well, now let's change gears. It's time for sports, and Karen will be telling us more about the AFCON and a little bit about my team, Cape Verde. That and more coming up shortly.
Shambani mbili yako ni gani? Kwa star 570 hash. Everyone has shillings unayotumia kwa Lucky Game inakupa 1 entry point ya kuingia kwenye drum ya draw ambayo inakupa fursa ya kujishindia moja kati ya shamba hizi mbili. Mwisho wa match namtangaza mshindi wa shamba hili la 1.1 million Kenyan shillings na unapata title deed yako. Safi. Na mwisho wa April namtangaza mshindi wa shamba hili la 1.1 million Kenyan shillings, lori za mawe na mchanga. Zote ndizo hizi. Dial star 570 hash. Title deed ndio hii. Buka na shake.
Mtoto wangu, pindi unapokuwa unazungumza basi ongea na sauti ambayo kwamba ni ya kiupole kabisa, usipige mayoye. Na pia ukitembea, tembea mwendo wa kisawasawa wa wastani, usitembea ule mwendo ambao kwamba mtu anajiona mimi ndio mimi, unioni vile nimevaa. Hapana, anamtahadharisha mtoto wake, anamfundisha tabia nzuri.
Tunapaswa pia kukumbushana mema na kukatazana maovu kwa sababu ni art.
Get ready for the captivating return of the FKF Premier League, exclusively on KBC. Brace yourself for the thrill of football as 18 teams battle it out for glory. Every week, KBC brings you not one, but 2 heart-pounding matches, delivering the best football action right to your living room. The stakes are higher than ever. The league champion takes home a handsome prize of 5 million shillings and also earns the honor of representing Kenya in the prestigious CAF Champions League. Feel the adrenaline, experience the suspense, and join the roar of the crowd as we celebrate the return of Kenya's football legacy. The FKF Premier League, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 and KBC radio stations. Save the date, mark your calendars, and get ready for the ultimate football spectacle. Coming to you live only on KBC. KBC, your true sports partner.
A very good evening to you. I do hope you're holding up well. Let's now talk sports. My name is Karen Kibet. Now, record 10-time Africa Women's Volleyball champions, Malkia Strikers, have made the cut to the top 5 nominees of the 2023 Sports Personality of the Year Awards. Sawyer Sports Team Women category ahead of the awards ceremony slated for 23rd of February 2024.
Malkia Strikers, who have won the award before, will battle it out with the Volleyball team, Kenya Ports Authority KPA basketball team, basketball 3x3 national team, and Nairobi Water handball team after the long shortlist was trimmed to 5. To make it into the top 5, Malkia Strikers recaptured the African title in Cameroon after seeing off Egypt by 3 straight sets. For Kenya Ports Authority basketball team, the year 2023 saw them successfully defend the national title before heading to Kigali, Rwanda for the Zone 5 tournament, where they recaptured the regional title after thrashing Rwanda Energy Group 87-53 in a one-sided final. The team represented Zone 5 at the inaugural FIBA Africa Women Basketball team, where the Kenyan side bagged silver following a 103-59 loss to host Sporting Club Alexandria.
KBC commences the FKF Premier League broadcast this weekend with 2 matches on the card on Saturday the 3rd at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. Tusker takes on Bidco in the earlier fixture at 1 p.m, while KCB locks horns with Sofapaka at 4 p.m. In other matches, FKF Premier League defending champions Gor Mahia will be targeting maximum points that will see them maintain their lead at the summit when they face Police FC this weekend at Police Sacco Stadium. A total of 10 matches will be played this weekend.
Kogalo beat former champions Tusker FC 1-0 in their previous outing to extend the gap between them and second place Nairobi City to 10 points. Gor are now at the top of the FKF Premier League table with 43 points, while Police FC is 6th with 30 points. In other matches, Tusker FC take on Bidco United, Kakamega Homeboys play Moroni Youth, KCB will lock horns with Sofapaka as Nzoia Sugar face Posta Rangers.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria have been installed as favourites to win the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations as they prepare to face Angola on Friday in the quarterfinals in Côte d'Ivoire. The finals of the Africa Cup of Nations are being televised live on KBC Channel 1, Y254 and all KBC affiliate radio stations.
Super Eagles coach Jose Peseiro has hailed his charges for the determination and hard work they have displayed since the start of this tournament. Peseiro also noted that they have made their title intentions clear and are going for nothing else but a win in Friday's match against Angola. Nigeria started the tournament slowly and this will be their toughest test in the tournament. Ademola Lookman, who returned against Cameroon and scored both goals, is expected to keep his place alongside Victor Osimhen and Samuel Chikwueze. Angola will be without first-choice goalkeeper Neblu after his red card in the last game against the Brave Warriors of Namibia. Signori Antonio will deputize his absence. In another match, DRC Congo will take on Guinea.
Thank you, Dan, for that report. Moving on, Connor Bradley produced a memorable display by scoring his first Liverpool goal and grabbing 2 assists as the Red beat Chelsea 4-1 to maintain their grip at the top of the English Premier League table. Meanwhile, Erling Haaland was upstaged on his return from injury by fellow striker Alvarez as Manchester City strolled to a 3-1 victory over Burnley.
The post. Van Dijk finds Bradley again. The cross on the run. It's absolutely brilliant. Didn't he arrive with perfect timing?
Of all players up from the back. But now he finds Alvarez and City find the first goal on his 24th birthday as well. De Bruyne scampering forward. Oh, that's cynical from Ekdal. And maybe in the first minute of the second half.
Formula One driver Lewis Hamilton is set to make a shock move to Ferrari in 2025 after 2 frustrating years without a Grand Prix victory. The Scuderia is the most prestigious team in motorsport history with 242 Grand Prix victories and 31 World Championships, but have fallen short of a world title since 2008.
There he is. Well, he's rewriting the book of what is possible.
Lewis Hamilton burst onto the scene as a rookie in 2007, winning in just his 6th race and coming within 1 point of the World Championship in his McLaren. The following year, he beat Felipe Massa to win the title on the final lap, making the most impressive start to a career that the sport has ever seen.
He needs to do to become the 2008 Formula One World Champion, Lewis Hamilton.
After a brief run of misfortune, Hamilton made a move to Mercedes in 2014 and dominated proceedings, achieving 6 more world championships until 2020.
Lewis Hamilton wins the Turkish Grand Prix and is a 7-time champion of the world.
The following year, the Brits' campaign was centered on achieving a record-breaking 8th world title, challenged by young gun Max Verstappen. Lewis was on track to make history until the final lap of 2021, where he lost the lead to a controversial stewarding error, which the sport's governing body later described as a human error. Since then, Hamilton has won 0 races in the Mercedes outfit, despite his teammate George Russell winning 1 at the 2022 Brazilian Grand Prix. Ferrari is the most prestigious team in motorsport history, with 242 Grand Prix victories and 31 World Championships, but have fallen short of a world title since 2008. To illustrate Ferrari's lackluster performances in recent years, reigning world champion Max Verstappen has won 54 races since 2016, compared to only 51 races for Ferrari as a team since 2006.
In Formula One has rejected Andretti's Autosport bid to enter the sport as a competitor in 2025 and 2026. Andretti has spent several years investing in their infrastructure and has reportedly employed over 100 people.
It is showtime, our Saturday night fight.
Andretti Autosport is one race in heritage. The 1978 Formula One world champion and father of Michael Andretti, the company's owner, said he was devastated by the
And that report brings us to the end of the sports news tonight. I'm now joined by my colleague Cynthia Nyamai, who is loves AFCON. I didn't know she was a football fan. Cynthia, your team was bundled out. Senegal, you have one more team remaining.
I still have the Eagles. So tomorrow, 8 p.m., I'll be anywhere where they have KBC on. Anywhere. 8 p.m. And then also 11. I'm still interested with the DRC. So that's where I'm going to be tomorrow. That's my plan for Friday.
That's great. To all our viewers, they should know that you will find all the four quarterfinal matches live on KBC Channel 1. Tomorrow we have the first 2 quarterfinals, and on Saturday we'll have the last 2 quarterfinals. Cynthia will be supporting Nigeria. My team will be playing on Saturday, so we will see how that will go. And also on Saturday we will be airing the FKF matches. So keep it KBC, your true sports partner. Cynthia, I'll let you be so that you can continue with the rest of the bulletin as I say good night.
Good night, Karen, and I'm sure tomorrow you will help me support our Super Eagles at 8 p.m. Well, we're about to take a break, but when we come back, we will be talking about the creatives, and I have someone who I attended an art gallery and met celebrities from all over the world in Kibra, and I was wondering what is going on in Kibra and what potential does the arts and creatives have even for this nation and our economy. That and more coming up after the break.
Burkina Faso, Hubert Velo. This is where he has to earn his nonsense as the chance comes up here, popping up, and a chance! As they did! They took 3 minutes in the first half. They take 1 in the second half. And who else would it be? Alan Lassine Sinayoko. Double the tally, double the goods. It's the 2 wings that the Eagles are now soaring on.
A disjointed stallion performance at the back. It continues. It's not getting better. And even when Sinayoko got that ball in behind the defense, no one put pressure on him. You can see in the replay, when Sinayoko got that ball, he realized no one is coming to him.
The East African community is one of the most integrated regional blocks in the world. But internal dispute is threatening the good old EAC.
If we can grow by 2 countries every year. So I'm looking next year for countries like Ethiopia to join, countries like Sudan to join, countries like Eritrea to join, Djibouti to join. All these countries in the Horn of Africa, I want to believe that they can join.
This week on Inside Government, we are talking to the Cabinet Secretary, East African Community, Penina Malonza. She'll be explaining to us what is the future of East African community and what Kenya is doing to deepen intra-regional trade. Watch the conversation right here on KBC Channel 1 with me, O'Brien Kimani.
Back. Christine Savannah, it's so good to have you in studio, the founder and director of Ano's One Fine Day. Yesterday, I came in for the launch, and I was wondering, I met so many people, I'm like, I know them. What are they doing in Kibra, and why is just the art scene such a big deal? And we're going to get into that. But the other thing that I was asking myself, a lot of times when people want to come up with projects to perhaps uplift people or bring in development, they're always thinking about entrepreneurship, business, and so on. But you decided to open an art gallery. Why? And an art center. Why?
Thank you for having me. So basically, it's because my background I'm an actress.
Yes.
I'm an actress and I'm a creative film producer. And when I started acting some years back, it was so crazy and interesting because I realized that we didn't have many art classes happening in informal settlements.
Yes.
And as an actor, I kept on thinking, how can this be done? And I used to do a lot of street theater. I worked for an NGO called Safe Kenya, which still does safe theater.
Yes.
And one of the trustees came to visit, and she saw what we were doing, and she was really thrilled. And we had so many children coming in. We would go into a slum and put up the bus and do a performance, mobilize people.
Yes.
And so many people, over 2,000 people would be standing there and they'd watch what we were doing. And we'd also had so many kids. And so she was like, what can we do?
Yes.
And I said to her, let's do an arts program. And for her, it was because she lost her son who was really talented. He was a musician.
Yes.
And he died at the age of 21. He was called Ano. And that's why our art center is called Ano. It's in memory of him.
Yes.
And, we did a pilot project where we went to Majengo St. John's, and we just bought wool and socks, and we made puppets with kids. And they were so happy, so thrilled. So she went back to the UK and came back, and she published his book. She made some money, and she came back, and for 6 weeks we did a whole program where we did dance, music, ballet, creative writing, visual art, acrobatics and circus, African dance. And it was so interesting such that the kids were able to express themselves. They were having fun. And she brought in a whole load of people from the UK and in Germany. And, I put in a lot of, having all our Kenyan team so that we can be able to communicate. And also for the fact that once the mentors from the UK left, then the Kenyan team would take over.
Yes.
And so over the years, this is what we've done. And here we are.
Yeah.
Because eventually we needed to have an end game. And I kept on thinking, many times you have organizations that start up, and then after some time, maybe people get bored, you lack funds, and then the organization that just dies.
Yeah.
And I thought, why should we not have our own space? Because we've been working in schools. So have our own space where the art can be taken to the next level, such that you do it professionally. So hence the building.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've mentioned a little bit about your career in arts and especially in acting. We know you from the screens. But how did art change your life? You've mentioned the challenges, but I'm sure there are a lot of positive stuff that happened. How did it change your life?
I mean, in many ways, because as an actress, as an actor, you're able to go into different spaces. I've traveled as an actor and as a film producer. I've gone to film festivals. I've been to...
Which one is the most memorable? I kind of can guess, but you tell us.
Oh, come on. I've been to the Oscars.
Exactly.
I worked on a film that was nominated for an Oscar, Watu Wote. I was production manager and I did a lot of producer support. And that was really different because it was a film that was based on a true story. We had the Al-Shabaab bus attack in Mandera. And we made that film together with students from Hamburg Media University.
Yes.
And after making the film, we've done a lot of screenings, impact screenings, whereby we take it to communities and people watch the film and you're able to talk to them. And people ask questions because when you watch such kind of films, it triggers people to ask you questions. And then you're able to discuss and look at what is it that could have been done better?
Yes.
Why are these people being radicalized? And when you find such questions, you're able to answer. We find ways of how we are able to change people's behaviors, attitudes, minds, and a lot of young people, the films that I've also worked on together with Nick Redding and Safe Kenya, they're on Netflix. Nisisi, which was based on the post-election violence, Watatu, which was also on radicalization, Ndoto za Libidi, which was on HIV and AIDS. These are films that have a social message that change people's attitude, and people are able to, you're able to learn through films. I believe education does not necessarily happen in a classroom. It can happen anywhere. And art is such a powerful tool to communicate because it's creative and people get bored of sitting in lectures. So if you watch a film that has a message and the film is funny, interesting, and you get to be...
It easily brings behavioral change.
Totally.
It's much better than a lecture. But have you now decided to put your acting career in the back seat and now do more for the children in Kenya?
Yes. So what I did for the past, I think, 10 years, I put my acting career on a back seat, and I focused on working on the children's program, which we've been doing for the past 18 years. And I've seen a lot of growth. I've seen young children who I've met when they're 9 years. I have some of them working with me in the office, and I've seen a whole transformation because art is expressive. So through the art, they're able to talk to you about issues that are affecting them. And you find that a lot of times parents send kids to their school hoping that the teachers are going to talk to them. Teachers expect parents to talk to their children, but then you realize no one is talking to these kids, they're talking to themselves. And so for us as artists, I have a team of 14 professional artists who teach all these disciplines, and they're able to talk to these children. And we've developed a system where they trust us, they're able now to talk about stuff. And we constantly find ourselves just guiding them. They ask you questions. They will talk to you about sex education. We know very well, in our African culture, talking about sex is a taboo. So we find ourselves guiding them, talking to them about drugs, crime, things just, we're sort of like their role models, their big brothers and sisters, and we just guide them, and it changes their attitudes. I must say not all of them become really, they change, some of them fall off, but then majority of them are the ones who change their behaviors. And at the end of the day, they always come back and say, you guys really helped me change my behavior, and I'm now deciding to take this career path. And we also encourage them to do well in education, because apart from the arts, education is also very important.
And yesterday, when I was watching them dance, there was ballet dancing, there was German music, African music. How does that impact a child, just opening up the world for them through art?
I think art can make you travel in different forms. When we started in 2006, we didn't have any ballet in the country. So we started this, and it was a foreign thing. Ballet is a foreign type of dance, and people embraced it. At the beginning, it was a bit difficult, but then when we started just training these kids, and they loved it, and slowly by slowly, they come to understand that, oh, wow, this can actually work. But then, of course, because we didn't have like proper professional spaces like dance spaces, we just used classrooms. And when you look at ballet, you realize they need to have like a proper dance studio with bars and mirrors. They need to have proper shoes, proper attires for them to, and they need to dance at least almost every day for them to become ballerinas.
Wow.
But you see, now working with schools, we're only given 1 day a week. And so that was a challenge and a gap. So we decided, why don't we have an art center where they can be able to train this? And you realize once you expose them to these things, we have kids who've appeared in international films. They've gone all the way to Malta to shoot, to Germany.
Wow.
We have ballet girls who've gone to France. We have some of them who've gone to Italy to perform. And for them just traveling from Kibera to Italy, from Kibera to France, from Kibera to Malta in Germany, it just opens up their world in a different way. They get to see things and they come back and say, wow. And these are opportunities that they would probably never have gotten if we didn't start the program or if they were not in the program.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you look at the days when you started and now, more than 18 years later, has this perception for arts changed, that people can be told, young children can be told, actually this is a career path that can be successful and you can take up?
I think it is, because, I live on art.
Yes.
And I think because when you look at, there's so many young people who are creative, and young people actually love doing things that are fun, right? And of course, in life, we know not everyone is academically talented, and not everyone is artistically talented. So if you're artistically talented and you're nurtured and you're pushed to the next level, then you're able to actually even make a living out of it, right?
Yes.
And you could be academically talented, but then generally in life, if you don't get lucky and get a proper job, if you have an artistic skill, you can actually create your own job.
Yes.
You can create your podcast, you can earn a living, you can create, you can create your own music, and you can earn a living. So it's almost an alternative to not an alternative. It's almost something that you have as a backup plan.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But you can actually nurture it, push it to the next level, and make a living out of it.
And it's your only plan. But I was looking at the model that you have, the various trainers, and it's been a successful model. Is it a model that you're looking to probably have take up throughout the country?
So ideally, when we started out, was this, I didn't learn how to do this.
Yes.
You just try out and you take. I'm such a risk taker, and I say, okay, let's try. Is it working? Okay, this is working. And then with time, of course, you make mistakes, but then you sit back, you reevaluate and say, oh, this worked, this doesn't work. So we sort of feel like, and up to now, the fact that we now have a proper art center that is running, that employs about 15 young people, you realize this is a module that can be replicated in every different slum, every rural area, and it can employ young people. It can solve a huge problem of young people unemployment in this country.
Yes.
So we also have set up the same module in rural Malawi, where we have a team of 8 teachers who are doing the same thing. So I think it's something that can be replicated. We're super happy for people to copy, as long as they do it the right way. And who knows? And we just give chances to young people to explore and nurture their talents.
And yesterday I met, during the introduction I was talking about it, I met so many celebrities from all over the world. We had like 5 ambassadors, and I was wondering, so what is this thing they're seeing that we are not seeing? So you tell us. I know they are coming to support you, but there was so much interest. So you tell us, there might be an opportunity for some of us right there.
Well, I just think it's the whole thing about keep choosing a goal and sticking to it, and getting people who support you through it.
Yes.
So for me, I try to choose a network. And I try as much as possible, because of course you must have integrity for you to be able, for people to be able to trust you.
Yes.
You must have you must have the patience and the consistency for you to be able to push through. And I'm never ever scared of meeting people and telling them, this is what I do. And I'm so proud when I meet people. I say, oh, by the way, I'm an actress and I'm a filmmaker, and I actually run a charity and I'm doing this. And I ask you, what do you do? And you tell me, and I say, how can you collaborate? Can you come and see what we're doing? And I invite people to Kibera so that they also see that Kibera is a safe place. There's a lot of people think, oh, Kibera, people get scared. But you were there yesterday. And
I've been there many times.
You've been there many times. And it's actually a safe space. And it's just the consistency, building trust with people, and allowing people, showing people what you have, the milestones that you get through. For over 18 years, we've had huge milestones. They might be small, but we always try as much as possible to just be like, oh, you stop and you look back and say, that's a milestone. You count and you move and you move.
And with the interest I saw there, is the West also looking for all other alternatives and art and talent in Africa?
I just think, with the world and things changing, we've already moved from analog and we're all digital. There's so much stuff and there's a lot of collaboration that's happening. And for me, I believe art connects different artists around the world. And art is a unique language. You can communicate with someone who is in Italy, same thing, but in a different way, but through art. And it's just that connection where you find that I'm doing something, but then someone else in France or in Germany or in UK, they're doing the same similar thing. And then you realize, and we can connect through Instagram. And they go like, by the way, I'm doing actually the same thing. And you connect and and because we also have different cultures, and that's why for us, we've had a lot of people coming in. We've brought in a lot of European mentors coming in, training, and of course, someone knows someone who knows someone who knows someone. When we first started, I think in our 3rd year, Marie Steinman, who came in as an artist, she's married to Tom Tikwa. And Tom came in and he's a film director. He was like, what can I do? And he set up this whole thing on One Fine Day Films. And so many people have benefited from the One Fine Day Films and learned how to make films. And that's now a whole different thing. So I just sort of feel like it's just the connections that people make that can easily move you to the next level, and you never know.
Yesterday the guest of honor was the CS for sports, Ababu, and as he was speaking, he spoke a lot about what the government wants to do for the arts. Are you truly getting that support from the government? Tricky question, but you can be honest here.
So I'm the kind of a person who says, let me get started. Let me not sit down and wait for the government. The government has a lot of things they're doing. So in our structure, how we did it, we said, let's get started. So now with the Art and Center, we can now ask them, guys, what can you do for us? It's actually even easier because right now they actually see the milestones. They actually see you're serious, the work you've put in, because we've bought the piece of land. We've got the funding to make the building. It's now finished. So it's so easy because then they can meet you at least somewhere. So they are really supportive. The local MP is very supportive. The local chief, through the chief, they really support our project, and they offer they're like, what can we do for you? And we don't necessarily, sometimes it's just about the money. Sometimes it's about security. Sometimes it's about talking to the community. Sometimes it's just about, being there, offering the support that you need. And I think with the current government, they have a huge plan for the creative industry, which I think it's so good because the creative industry contributes a lot to the creative economy of this country. And I know with time we will get there.
That's a promise that the government made, especially during the campaign. But as we close, just my last question, what is the future particularly for you and for Ano's Art Center? Where do you see it 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
Oh, wow. I see as a safe space which is in a community that young children, teenagers, the whole community can use it. This is the reason why we built it in Kibera, so that it's the community there that can use it. I want people from that community, even us guys when we're long gone, they can still take it on and move on. I would love people to copy this model and replicate it in their different spaces. Like people to create different spaces that can easily be able for young people to create their own jobs, a safe space for young girls, especially those who are living in very underprivileged communities. When you have a safe space, then you're able to have a peace of mind, and you're able to create, you're able to do whatever it is that you want to do. And you see, all these young people have dreams. And if given a chance, if given a safe space that they can express themselves or they can pursue their dreams, they would achieve what they want. The sky is the limit.
I have one question for you, but my director tells me that we have to take a commercial break. We continue with the interview shortly after that.
Okay.
comments he's putting up here.
Definitely.
Shot! Served well. Haidara with the rebound. Oh, that is wide there, but very good goalkeeping there from Kofi.
Just a little bit slow there from Burkina Faso on the rebound.
Across Africa, a new era has begun, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future. A Pan-African future. Together. EcoBank. A better way. A better Africa.
Get ready for the captivating return of the FKF Premier League, exclusively on KBC. Brace yourself for the thrill of football as 18 teams battle it out for glory. Every week, KBC brings you not one, but two heart-pounding matches, delivering the best football action right to your living room. The stakes are higher than ever. The league champion takes home a handsome prize of 5 million shillings and also earns the honor of representing Kenya in the prestigious CAF Champions League. Feel the adrenaline, experience the suspense, and join the roar of the crowd as we celebrate the return of Kenya's football legacy. The FKF Premier League, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 and KBC radio stations. Save the date, mark your calendars, and get ready for the ultimate football spectacle. Coming to you live only on KBC. KBC, your true sports partner.
Welcome back. As you know, KBC, we are always supporting the creatives, and I was speaking to Christine yesterday. I happened to visit Kibra, where she was officially opening her art center. How have you, in your experience, and you've talked about working in Kibra when it comes to arts with the young people for almost 18 years, how have you noticed children change when they come in? What kind of citizens do they become after a few years at the art center?
It's very interesting. So first of all, when we go into a school, and we basically go into informal schools.
Yes.
So the kids, we say to them, this is what we're doing, and they choose what they want to go into. And first of all, when they come into these classes, they're very shy, they can't even look at you.
Yes.
And then now with time, because you're doing art, you're having fun, you're leveling up with them, you know, it helps them build their self-esteem. It helps them build their confidence, their postures, their ways of speaking, and even for them to be able to ask questions. And that has really helped. We have children who've grown through our program who are now also running their own organizations in different areas because of just what the skills that they picked from that. And you see, for us, we just don't do arts. We talk to them about discipline. We give them life skills. We tell them that this is what is out there in the real world. So then they are able to know that in the real world, this is what happens. And it's not a big problem. And they always know that they have someone to talk to when they get stuck. And, you know, it really, really helps them in so many ways.
Yes. Now I'm convinced why you probably didn't start incubation or a business school. I'm convinced. And yesterday, I could see the confidence in the children, the discipline, just even the pride as they were reciting and as they were acting. They were just enjoying the time that they had. And I could see they're certainly going to be completely different children after their training. Thank you so much, Christine, for sharing your world with us, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you for having me.
Moving on now, this is a story that we had introduced earlier on, where President William Ruto has vowed to decisively deal with the challenges that have for years bedeviled the country's sugar sector. The president said the government-owned sugar millers have been bailed out by government to the tune of 117 billion shillings of their debts and statutory deductions. Ruto also revealed that 1.7 billion shillings owed to the farmers has been released, and that all farmers' debts shall be cleared in the next 2 months.
President William Ruto began his 4-day tour of Western Kenya by commissioning several development projects in Bungoma County. In Bungoma North Sub-County, he opened Naitiri Primary School, then broke the ground for construction of Naitiri Economic Stimulus Project at Naitiri Market. At Bungoma Town, he launched the Affordable Housing Project and rooted for it. The president then toured Nzoia Sugar Factory, undertaking to revitalize the country's ailing sugar sector.
Hii shida mimi ndio nitamaliza. Hii ya Nzoia hii. I will finish. Kwa hivyo, msiwe na wasiwasi. Sawa sawa. Hii ya Nzoia, ya Miwani, ya Chemelil, ya Muhoroni, pamoja na ile Sony Sugar. That is my assignment. Mimi nitamaliza hii matatizo.
The government released 117 billion shillings to pay debts accrued by the government-owned sugar millers.
Ile deni ya bilioni 50 na kitu, 53 billion, ambayo ilikuwa nadaiwa kampuni yenu ya Nzoia, tumeifutilia mbali kama serikali, hamuna deni tena. Kampuni yenu is free. Tumefanya hivyo kwa kampuni ya Miwani, tumefanya hivyo kwa kampuni ya Muhoroni, tumefanya hivyo kwa kampuni ya Sony, tumefanya hivyo kwa kampuni ya Chemelil.
Another 1.7 billion shillings to sort farmers' arrears has been released, and within 2 months, all farmers' debts will be cleared.
Nimepigiwa simu, wananchi hapa wanapiga masimu, wanasema kiwanda chetu kimeuzwa. Wanasema kiwanda chetu kimeenda. Juzi wakanipigia wanasema wazungu ni wakala singa wako kwa factory. Mheshimiwa Rais, nafikiri utaambia watu hawa kwamba kiwanda hiki hakiwezi kwenda bila wao kuhusishwa. Hao ndio wanatoa uamuzi wa kuendeleza hii factory tukienda mbele. Hizo ni kizungumkuti, Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa mambo ya wakazi hapa. Mtu asikudanganye. Hawa marafiki zetu wakuambia ukweli, wananchi hawataki kiwanda cha Nzoia kiuzwe.
Kama rais alipe wakulima ni sawa, alipe wafanyikazi, alafu mwaka ujao, mwaka huo mwingine atalipa kila mwaka. Sasa tuulize, si miwa mlienda hapa, ikaenda wapi? Ikaenda wapi? Wafanyikazi walifanya kazi, kwa nini wao lipwa? Rais ndiye alikuwa anasimamia hii factory, ni yeye alikuwa hapa, si kulikuwa na wasimamizi? So kikulacho kinguoni.
Mkulima ameleta miwa yake, si ndio? Miwa yake imewekwa kwa mashine. Hawa wafanyikazi wamefanya kazi, mashine imeuzwa. Mwisho mkulima hajalipwa, mfanyikazi hajalipwa, miwa imeuzwa, sukari imeuzwa. Aha, bana. Ati alafu mnaniambia tuendelee? Ati tuendelee namna hiyo? Mnasema tuendelee style hiyo?
The president further pledged 500 million shillings for each of the 4 government-owned sugar millers for cane development, but called for prudent management to root out perennial non-payment of farmers, workers and other creditors.
Kizungumkuti tulio nayo hapa Nzoia, kwanza ni siasa mingi, pili ni fitina mingi, tatu ni sisi kama viongozi wanting to score cheap political points against each other. Mimi nataka kuwaomba ndugu zangu, na tumemwambia rais na amekubali, ya kwamba yoyote ambayo tunafanya lazima tuhusishe mfanyakazi, tuhusishe mkulima, tuhusishe mtu wa NOC, tuhusishe hawa bunge wetu, MCS ambao wanahusika.
He said the leasing program is on, with the leasee paying host counties to ensure locals benefit from the arrangement.
Hapa tuko na nucleus, si ndio? Eka 10,014. Hiyo nucleus ni mali ya watu wa Bungoma. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Hiyo nucleus inafaa mupate pesa kila mwezi ama kila mwaka. So mimi nitafanya mambo manne. Ya kwanza, sawa, si nimeondoa madeni yenu. That's number 1. Number 2, nimelipa hawa wakulima. Mimi sasa niko na biashara na kazi na hawa wafanyikazi, si ndio? Hawa wafanyikazi lazima tukubaliane na wao, si ndio? Mimi nataka mtu ambaye atakuja kuendesha hii kampuni afanye mambo manne. Ya kwanza, alipe mkulima on time na ile bei tumekubaliana. Ya pili, alipe wafanyikazi on time bila ya maswali. Ya tatu, alipe county government ya Bungoma for the nucleus iko hapa. Lazima county government ya Bungoma ipate kati ya milioni 300 ama milioni 500 kila mwaka. You must get either county government ya Bungoma ama wakulima wa miwa, either walipwe either between 300 million and 500 million every year.
Ruto heads to Kakamega County on Friday. Achola Simon, Prime Edition, Bungoma County.
Well, that story brings the end of tonight's bulletin. From me and the rest of the team, we wish you a very good night.